Hi, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how to make this lovely lady's turban, or some people actually call it a chemo cap. So it can be worn for many reasons, but a lot of people wear it when they're undergoing chemotherapy and they're losing their hair or they've lost their hair. So it can be made in all sorts of fabric and you get to choose. So you can make it in bright colours, subtle colours, beautiful florals. You could make it in 100% cotton, a spandex material, whatever you choose. Anyway, join me on the video and let's see how it's made. Now I'm working on the circumference of my head, which is 56 centimetres. So you need the circumference of your head plus 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres. So that's why this piece is 58 centimetres long and the height of it is 38 centimetres. Now the stretch will be going across this way because we're going to be folding that and that's going to be going around the head, so we want the stretch around the head. We have a little loop piece. Once we've sewn this, it'll be sewn together and gathered, and then we want to put a loop around it. So this is going to be our loop piece. So we want the stretch on the high side. So this one is 10 centimetres high and 7.5 centimetres wide. Now the next piece that I've got here, I'll just move my ruler out the way. The next piece we've got here, you take your head circumference and divide it by 3, and then you cut a square. Then you take your square and you fold it into quarters. So we'll just do that. So now we have a little square. And what we're going to do with that is, I'll just get a smaller ruler. What we're doing with our little square is to cut it into a circle. So I'll just take that to the end. That's 9.5. So we'll just move that around and just mark it 9.5 from the top point here, all the way around. It's only 9 down here, so I'm going to go back, which is right because I did make that. Yeah, so we just go back and we'll make that 9. They're out in force with their motorbikes today again. Such a beautiful day. We're in autumn weather here at the moment. The weather is absolutely beautiful. Nights are a bit cold though. Okay, so just trace along those lines that you've drawn out. Join the dots. And then we'll just cut that around. And we have our circle. So I'll get busy and we'll get the fabric out and we'll start cutting. So I'm just laying my pattern pieces on my fabric at the moment. Now I said that I'm going to make multiple of these, so I am using 4 layers of fabric here that I'm going to be cutting through. So I'm going to be cutting out enough to make 4 in one go. So just pinning my pattern down. And Now it is important when you do your pattern to look at which way you need the fabric to stretch. So here we have it, this is the bit that's going around the head. Now this is our loop and we want that to be able to stretch this way, because as we do it, we'll be putting it through and stretching it. So I'm just putting that here and making sure that the stretch is in the right direction. Okay, and the last piece is my circle, but I will need to lay the fabric out again because it's not going to fit onto this at the moment. Okay, so I'll just move this so that I can cut it on my cutting mat. I don't have an overly large cutting mat, so I will have to shift this around as I'm cutting. So, and I'm thinking that I will be needing to change the blade in this rotary cutter. Let's see. Ah, it's doing the job fine, but I do think it needs changing. Perhaps on some of the thicker fabrics that might struggle. Okay, we've cut out the bit for the loop. Now, just make sure that we don't have any wrinkles in our fabric. And we'll cut this one. Okay, 4 pieces. Yep, that's looking good. Now, I'm just looking to see if I can open this scrap up and use it for the circle. I don't know if it's going to be big enough. Yes, it is. Beautiful. I love it when a plan comes together. I love it when we don't have to waste our little offcuts. So this will only cut 1. Yeah, I can't fold it over to do 2. So I'll cut out my circles and then we'll come back. So when we're starting, we just need to lay the fabric down and put the right sides together. Now we're going to put a seam along here. Once we've done that, we're just going to, so I've just used my overlocker to do that, or serger. We're going to make sure that the seams are together, and we're just going to fold it in half, like that, so that the edges are lined up. There we go. Right, the next thing we're going to do is to take our little piece, which is for the loop. We're going to sew that together along that seam there. Okay, so we've sewn our loop together, and we're just going to turn that the right way out. And we're just going to lay it down with the seam in the middle there. Now I'm going to take a needle and thread, and I'm just going to go along where the seam is on this piece here and just do a gathering stitch. So it just doesn't need to be neat sewing. We're pulling it out after we've gathered it, but we're just going to do the gathering right up to the top. Okay, so just pull that up into a gather. And then we take our loop and put that over. Bring it up to the top. And I'm just taking that to the machine, and we're just going to sew the top of that loop together. Right, now that we've sewn that, I'll just trim it a little bit. And we'll take out our gathering stitch. Right, gathering stitches out. Right, now the next thing we need to do is to take our circle, which is going to be the top piece of our turban, and we need to pin that in place. So we're just putting the right sides together, and we'll start at the front. We'll start by putting a pin in there. Then we'll go to the back. And put a pin in there. And then we'll do the two sides. Now I'll take that to the sewing machine, to the overlocker or serger, and we'll sew that in, and then I'll be back. Okay, So we've sewn around the top. Now we just turn it the right way. Now there's a couple of threads I need to address there. I'll get my clippers later and do that. And I'll just put it on so that you can see what it looks like. And there you have it. A nice turban. Now you could make that out of other fabric, maybe some fleecy or something like that. Now if you do make it out of other fabric that's not as stretchy, you'll need to adjust your pattern. So just see, because this is quite stretchy, but there is a lot of room in here. If I had big buffy hair, it would certainly fit in here. But yeah, I love the fabric anyway. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.